Is this real life right now? Why'd you put Benjamin in the front seat?
Because he wouldn't fit in the back.
Oh my gosh, he looks so cute riding up here. Oh, hi Benjamin. I've missed you.
I got his friends in the back.
You remember his name?
I don't.
It's Jameson. We're gonna call him James for short. And Dexter. You didn't break him, did you? Aww. Look at these handsome men. Oh my gosh, they look like they could be like a father and son. Don't they look so alike? In case you can't tell, we are going to start setting up our Halloween front yard display today, and it usually takes us 2 to 3 full days to get everything done. So today we're going to be focusing on our front step, or what I call our front porch area, which is our front step extended into this front flower bed. Here is one last look at my fall front porch decor. I did an asymmetrical look, and I love the way that that turned out. It was very simple and minimal and perfect for the fall season. But as for me and my house, we are anything but minimal with our Halloween decor. We love the spooky season. We look forward to setting up this yard display every single year. We daydream about it. We add pieces to our collection. So I have a lot to share with you today and a lot that we've added to our collection. Like I said, we add a few pieces every single year. So last year we focused on our lighting. We actually invested in the Govee outdoor permanent house lights, and oh my gosh, they were the best thing that we could have done for our display. You can kind of see them installed under the soffit, and I'll insert a few clips of what that installation was like. It was really quick and easy. Okay, so as we get up here, this is what it looks like when you're installing. They just adhere to the soffit, and there's this length of cord or wire in between each one. So you just want to make sure that it's not twisted up and it's flat against the soffit and it's taut. And then you find the placement for your next light. So we have it here, and you do have to measure it away from the overhang. So we're just using, let me see that card. This is the card we're using. We just have this old arcade card, but you could use any credit card, and it just so happens to be the exact correct size. And you want to measure it from the outside of your overhang. So we're just securing it in this little lip here. So then you make sure that your cord is not twisted and that it's taut, and see where your next light is going to end up and making sure that it's measured away. And then you're going to take your rag and wipe that area. You want to make sure it's completely clean. There's no debris. You need a clean surface for this to adhere to, and we're just using a rag with alcohol. And then on the back side of these lights is just this 3M strip, so you just peel that off and then stick it right up there to the cleaned off soffit at the correct measurement, and you hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. And then you just move on to the next one. One of the best things about those Govee lights is that they are semi-permanent house lights. Like, of course you can remove them, but they will stay up there as long as you want them to, so we won't have to go through that install process again. We've had no issues with the install failing, anything removing itself, cracking, not working. The lights still work just the same as they did the very first day that we put them up. Because we've been so impressed with the quality of the Govee lights, one of the things that we decided to add into our display this year were some Govee ground lights and spotlights that we will be using to highlight some of our new pieces and favorite features of our display. So I will share that with you a little later on in the video, but for now I think we just need to remove this fall decor, get a blank slate out here, and start adding in all of our Halloween favorites. Okay, so I made this DIY fall topiary with my fall front step decorating, and I love the way that it turned out. Again, if you just wanted to add to this, you totally could. This could go with a Halloween display. Unfortunately, when I went back to get more of these garlands, they didn't have anymore. So I'm going to reimagine this into a more Halloween themed topiary. And so I have these black planters that I got from Walmart for $7 3 years ago, and I find new ways to use them every year. So I have 2 of them. I'm going to set them on either side of the front step, and I'm going to unwrap this tomato cage with these fall garlands and instead use some Halloween garlands that I also found at Michael's. These DIY topiaries are such a fun and inexpensive way to decorate for seasons and holidays, and I love that these materials can be repurposed and reused in multiple different ways, which is why you don't see me using any kind of permanent securing solution. So I'm not hot gluing or using Gorilla Glue. I'm simply wrapping these Halloween garlands around the tomato cages that I have turned upside down into the planters, and I'm just tying them off with the garland chain at the bottom, and then also to hold the 3 prongs together at the top. Now, of course, if you live in a windier area or somewhere with more extreme weather, you could use zip ties and then just cut them off when you're done using the garland or wanting to change it out. Or if you want something more permanent, you could use Gorilla Glue or hot glue or anything like that. But I love being able to reuse and repurpose these materials, and also love that it doesn't take a whole lot of storage space to store away these garlands at the end of this season. But they turned out so cute, and they were such a good complement to the skeletons that I like to keep on the front step. The only thing that I think could make them better is if I put some Halloween string lights in there. That way they could light up with the rest of the display at night. And I actually think I might order some like 25-foot Govee string lights so that I can sync them up with the rest of our display. But for now, this is what we have going, and I did decide to use my leftover garland above our door. We have some command strips that stay up there year round, and we mostly use them with our Christmas display. I wrap the door frame in a garland that time of year, but I thought that this was a nice little accent to complete this front step. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I did turn on our Govee lights. It's still pretty bright out here, so I'll show you in the nighttime as well, but this is what we've got on our front step so far. I hung one of those garlands up here to complement the topiaries, and I like that. And then look at these handsome men. Derek is always making fun of me for complimenting them and naming them, but they're just too precious. This one is Dexter, and this one is Jameson. Dexter was a Home Goods find last year, and then Jameson was from Home Goods this year. And I liked him because he fit in with the rest of our skellies, but also because he has those spiders crawling on him, and we have an animatronic spider. It's massive, and a 25-foot spider web that goes with it. We think we're gonna hang the spider web from the drain spout here and kind of stretch it across with the spider in this front portion of the yard, and we're actually going to light up the web with some Govee lights. So I ordered their Christmas string lights too, and this is actually 66 feet of lighting, which I thought would be perfect to weave into our spider web. So even though it's pictured on a Christmas tree and they're marketed for Christmas, there are so many uses and functions with the Govee lights that you're not ever restricted to just one purpose or one holiday, which is one of the things that I really love about them. So I ordered these. I actually got 2 of them because we are adding a second spider into our display this year, and I thought it would be really fun to kind of feature the spiders by lighting up their webs and just add that extra dimension into the display this year. So I think I'm going to work on testing these out and making sure that they work and kind of weaving them into the web, and have Derek start setting up the spiders so that we can make sure that our idea is going to work and that it will function as intended. So the really cool thing about these Christmas string lights too is that they actually have a music mode where you can set them up to sync with music and audio sounds, which we will do later. I will show you that. They also have over 130 preset lighting options in the app, and they are completely waterproof and dustproof, so they are safe to use outside, as are the ground lights and the floodlights that we also ordered from Govee. Govee to add to our lighting display this year. And I'm just going to unbox everything, get it all hooked up, and test it to make sure that everything survives shipping just fine and that all of the lights are working. I always recommend that you test out your lights before you start setting them up. That way you don't go through the hassle of setting everything up just to realize that there's a light out. So as you can see, the lights all lit up perfectly. They do have some manual controls here. You can see me pushing the power button, but they also are all smart lights. So they will connect to Wi-Fi, Google Home, Amazon Alexa, and of course the Govee app. Govee is committed to making life smarter. As a global leading smart home company, they provide personalized and fun life experiences through continuous innovations in smart home technology. They offer a variety of ambient lighting products, including string lights, ground lights, wall lights, and their best-selling permanent outdoor house lights. Govee outdoor lighting is waterproof, easy to install, and easy to command, supported by multiple smart systems, including their own app, voice commands, and third-party controls. You can use the link in my description box to check out all of the Govee lights that I've shared in today's video and take advantage of any sales and special discount information. I'll leave all of that information down below, and let me just say a huge thank you to Govee for allowing our home to work smarter, adding infinite creativity into our holiday decorating, and for partnering with me and sponsoring today's video. In case you couldn't tell from what we've been setting up so far, the theme for our outdoor Halloween display is a creepy, almost haunted cemetery, and we have kept this theme consistent throughout at least the last 4 years of us building this collection up, and we do that so that we can be intentional with the pieces that we add into the collection every year, and we can create a cohesive Halloween display as opposed to disjointed pieces of decor spread throughout the yard. So I was keeping this cemetery in mind when I ordered these Govee ground lights. I wanted them to work almost like real headstone lights that you would see in a cemetery, but also I wanted to feed them into the mouths of the jack-o'-lanterns that we put in here. Because they are battery operated and they just have an on-off switch, they actually take a lot of time and money to keep them lit throughout the season since we decorate so early and light them up every single night. So this was a great solution to this problem and a more sound investment on our part as opposed to batteries that run out multiple times per season. Okay, so I'm using these ground lights to kind of light up the headstones and then also the jack-o'-lanterns that we'll be putting out here, and I've saved these last few over here because we're actually going to be setting up a haunted tree, and then Benjamin over there is going to lean against it, so I'll probably put some of these lights into the mouth of his jack-o'-lantern as well. In years past, Derek's least favorite part of our display has been that all of these jack-o'-lanterns are battery operated and they have individual switches, but now we won't have to use any batteries. He won't have to come out here every night and turn on a switch because we'll have these ground lights here, and so we'll be able to control those from the app, turn them off and on, and they'll fit into the display a lot better. So that's going to be really exciting. But now to finish off this little cemetery area, we are going to assemble that haunted tree. We actually added that to our collection this year, and we are so excited to see what it looks like over there. This tree was relatively easy to set up, especially considering that we had to purchase the display model from our local store. It was no longer available online and there wasn't any in-box in stock, which meant that by buying the display, we were buying it with no box and no instruction manual. But we were able to look that up online. It was pretty simple to follow, and we got it set up in about half an hour, and then we were able to finish the rest of the cemetery. I love the way that this looks, and we were really happy to be adding something into our display that wasn't a skeleton or a spider. Here's the view so far, and I love this tree. It was such a good investment. It fits into our display perfectly, and I love that it kind of gave Benjamin a place to lean, like he was just sitting up against this tree in the cemetery. This came together really nicely, and I love that we're able to use the ground lights to act almost as a solar light or a real cemetery light would be in front of the headstones, but also we've got them in each of the jack-o'-lanterns, including 2 of them over here in Benjamin's jack-o'-lantern, so that we'll be able to control all of that from the app and not have to worry about coming out here with batteries and turning things on. But since we have all that going on, our front step is kind of just looking a little more minimal and a little sad now. So I am going to add a few things. I found these blood drip window clings at Michael's this year, and I thought that they would be really cool to use on the front door. Last year I think I used some like paper spider decals or something like that, but I wanted to switch it up a bit. So since we do have a haunted house, haunted cemetery theme in our display, I just thought these would be really cool. So I have these, that's like a 3-pack of little blood spatters, and then I have these 2 handprints that I thought would be really cool. And then I picked up this drip that I think I'm going to try to use along the top of the storm door there. I do have 2 of them because I wasn't sure, it doesn't say anywhere exactly how much that it covers or anything like that, but I thought that these would be really cool. So I'm going to clean the storm door first, of course, so that it has like a clean surface to stick to, and then just play around with these and position them. I'm not sure yet if we're going to take it to the windows or just leave it on the front door, so I'll have a little bit to think about that, but we'll see how far this takes us today. Since it was raining, I was trying to protect my camera and filming equipment, and so I wasn't able to get the best angle of me installing the blood drips on the storm door, but I did put them up there, and I'll show you a better view of that a little later on. I was also trying to make the handprint portions look like someone had been trapped inside and like scrambling for the door and just kind of barely missed the door handle. I don't know if I quite achieved that or not. You guys will have to let me know, but that was the intention in my placement at least. And then I didn't quite know what to do with the blood splatters, so I just kind of put them off towards the bottom to kind of do equal distribution on the door. And I do have to admit that these were a little bit more difficult to install than I had been anticipating, but I do think that I like the overall look and what they added to the display. Filled in all of this dead space with more pumpkins, and I think I really like the way that that looks. I think it flows with the cemetery portion of the display a lot better. As you can see, we have like pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns all throughout there, so I wanted some on the front step as well. I really like that. I'm undecided still on these window clings, so I did put them up, but you can see that they just have so many air bubbles in them, and I have no clue how to get those out. Like all of these spaces here, those are air bubbles. So if you have any tips for that, please leave them in the comments, because I feel like this would look super cool otherwise, but it just kind of looks really splotchy right now. Here's how it looks basically from the street view, and I love it. We have the Govee floodlights down in front of the spider, so it will be lit from the front, as well as having the web lit, and then we we've positioned the rest of them around this front area. That way they'll shine onto the decor that isn't pre-lit or lighting itself, like James and Dexter and also our topiaries. They'll be really well lit with these floodlights here. And that's what Derek is working on right now. He's making sure that the floodlights, the ground lights, the string lights, and the house lights are all connected to Wi-Fi, synced up in the app, and then he's going to choose the Halloween light overlays and any sound effects that we use. He always takes control of that, and he does such a good job. It's one of his favorite parts of putting up Halloween and Christmas outdoor displays. So I just kind of let him handle that, and then I just enjoy what it looks like at the end. Fingers crossed it actually stops raining so that we can get everything lit up and I can share with you what the full display is looking like with all of those lights and the effects included. But don't forget to check out my description box. You can find links to all of the Govee products that we've used in today's video and just some information about any discounts. Thank you so much once again to Govee for partnering with me and sponsoring today's video. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed this part 1. We are definitely not finished, but I feel like this is a good stopping point for part 1, day 1. We've got our front step and front porch area all finished, and I feel pretty accomplished considering the weather and the lighting today. So this feels pretty good to have this done. There will be a part 2 where we work to extend the display through this front flower bed and also out into our front yard. So make sure you've got your notification bell turned on, and if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps to support my channel. But now I'm going to stop rambling and just show you what we were able to finish today, how it is looking so far, and then hopefully when the sun goes down, we'll see what those lights look like. What are you gonna do with it?
Do a thunderstorm.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Now can you sync the lights up with it?